It's the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Wednesday, July 15th. I'm James Spann. It's the morning edition. Things are calmer today after a wild night last night. Still got the heat ridge west of the state over Texas and Oklahoma. On the periphery of that, we have a northerly flow aloft. And in that flow, we had a band of severe storms moving through North Alabama last night with pretty widespread wind damage. Trees and power lines down in many North Alabama counties. The Birmingham metro hit hard. At one point, over 100,000 people with no power, and that's the area combined by the Alabama Power, the co-ops, and the TVA. And one person was killed by a falling tree in Cullman County near West Point. Looking back at this, here's a look at that line of severe storms approaching Birmingham. And again, the watches and warnings were excellent. And it just seems like a lot of people didn't really pay attention to the warnings for some reason last night. And that's a reminder, you've got to listen to these severe thunderstorm warnings and everything we try and say here. And of course, we're not really talking to you because you watch these videos. We're preaching to the choir, but a lot of people just don't pay attention, and we've got to work on that. Okie doke, today, heat advisories. And again, I'm not a big fan of this, splitting up the state like that. You go from Jefferson and Shelby under a heat advisory. Next door is St. Clair and Talladega, not under one, and you can't tell the difference. Everybody's going to be hot. All 67 counties, hot, oppressive summer weather. It's just July in Alabama. Now, there is a marginal severe weather threat for much of the state today. Yesterday we had the enhanced and the standard slight risk. That's not there today. It's marginal. But the storms that do fire in scattered spots later today could be pretty strong. Tomorrow, marginal risks northwest and southeast of here, and on day 3, which is Friday, a marginal risk over the high plains. Overall rain for the next 5 days, valid through Monday morning of next week. Generally speaking, under 1/2 inch, and we all know that rain distribution is very uneven in summer because of the scattered nature of the storms. The tropics, Claudette is post-tropical, approaching Nova Scotia. Rest of the Atlantic basin, quiet as a mouse. Hey, model fans, here we go, the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid today at 1 o'clock local time at 500 millibars, troughing on the East Coast. Heat ridge just a little west of here. And again, the door is open for a few scattered storms to fire this afternoon. It's certainly not going to rain everywhere. In fact, I would suggest most of you will not get wet, but as we talked about, where the storms do form with the very high instability values, the storms could be pretty strong. And we'll expect a high today in the mid-90s in most spots. Both models are at 94. That is the high-res HRRR at 5 o'clock today. And as we always say, the radar's not going to look exactly like that, but that'll give you an idea of what it could look like. No way to know now exactly where those storms will fire later today. Tomorrow, hot with hazy sunshine, mid-90s, with only isolated storms. The air aloft will be warmer tomorrow. And it's just going to be hot and steamy Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. This is Friday. Upper 90s. Somebody might hit 100 here. Here's a look at Saturday as the weekend begins at 594 ring. Right on top of us. That represents the center of the heat. Hot, only isolated storms, and the same thing on Sunday. In fact, let me just jump to the ensembles here, and you can see it's got Birmingham at 100, both Saturday and Sunday. I think upper 90s is more likely, but come on. Can you tell the difference between 98 and 100? No. It's just going to be very, very hot here, and we're getting right at the hottest time of the summer. But next week, numbers come down a little bit, but across the board, we'll stay in the 90s. Monday of next week is not going to change. Mid to upper 90s Tuesday. Now, the heights are coming down a little bit. That could open up the door for a little increase in the number of scattered storms. And this is Wednesday. You can see a trough coming across the Great Plains. That should dent that ridge. And again, maybe a little increase in the number of scattered storms by the middle of next week with heat levels coming down. Highs closer to 90. Here's the end of the forecast, July 24th. Big old expansive 590 heat bubble over much of the nation. Typical summer weather for the end of July. Partly sunny, scattered mostly afternoon and evening showers and storms. Anomalies, July 22nd through July 28th. Again, we should be above average down here with that ridge. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock today. If you can't catch us this evening on the live stream of the television side, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.